I'm on a very personal journey across Wales in search of our most valuable resource, the people. I've met an amazing range of individuals, from the men and women who save lives in their spare time, to the colourful and eccentric. Hold tight and be prepared to be shocked, surprised, or just plain grateful for their heroic effort. As I introduce you to Connie's people. And today, I join the unsung heroes helping elderly people across Wales.
Hello, Mr. Newman. Here's your Meals on Wheels.
And go to the lab to experiment with the weirdest Welsh ice cream.
Chuck the lamb in.
Chuck the lamb in now.
But first today, I'm heading north by northwest.
From my surroundings, you might think I've been transported to the forests of Alaska. Oh no, I'm still in the rolling hills of Wales. In fact, I'm in Pembrokeshire Country Park, which is playing host to an amazing canine event, a Husky mushing rally. And I hear you've got to be barking mad to do this sort of thing. Guess I'm in the right place then.
And it is a bit mad for all these people and dogs to try and transport a tradition thousands of miles from the polar wastelands. Huskies have been worked and raced for hundreds of years, essential to the survival of people like the Inuit, working and living in sub-zero temperatures. They are one of the toughest and hardiest of breeds. Rather bizarrely, Husky racing has taken off across Europe and in the UK. It's not the usual setting for Huskies, I grant you, but there are people here from all over Wales and England to give their dogs a run. And for people like Carolyn Reid-Rees, it's not just exercise, it's great fun.
Go on you go.
Carolyn, you just come off a race. How do you feel?
I have. I'm exhausted, actually, if I'm honest.
It's a really long track, isn't it?
It is. It's quite hard work. It's about 3 miles, and quite a lot of it is sandy up and down, so the rig doesn't want to go through too readily.
What is it about keeping Huskies that you love so much?
It just is a passion. I can't explain it. They're real characters.
I have to say, it's quite intimidating. They look like wolves.
They do. They're the closest domesticated animal to a wolf. They're excited because they're surrounded by other dogs that are running and just coming back in from running, and it's the whole atmosphere. It's very excitable.
Husky lovers go wild about these dogs. They don't just keep one. Some people here today have as many as 16. This event is for Siberian Huskies and Alaskan Malamutes, and they have a strength and energy that needs to be harnessed, and that's why an event like this is second nature to these dogs. In snow, they use sleds. On days like today, it's a wheeled rig. So here's the nerve centre of the whole Husky mushing event. And Mick, you're my main mushing man.
Well, I do try to be. I'm not mushing today, but I'm trying to organise the race, trying to get it flowing, to keep it going all nice and smoothly.
How many competitors have you got at the event today?
There's about 50 adults and 14 children.
So kids do this as well?
Oh yes, kids do this as well.
And that leaves plenty of scope for some sibling rivalry. So I've got 2 hopefuls here. I've got Kian and Bethan. How old are you, Kian?
14.
14, and Bethan?
13.
14 and 13. So are you competing against each other today?
Yep.
Who's going to win? Because I hear you're quite competitive.
I hope me, but it's usually her.
My theory is, because I've got really fast dogs and I'm really light.
Bethan, your dogs are the same speed as mine.
Yeah, but I'm lighter.
Yeah.
So jury's out, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. Bethan and Kian, head to head in Husky mushing for kids. Stay tuned. With a lot of woofing and howling, Bethan and Kian are ready to race. Bethan will head off first, and a minute later, it will be Kian's turn. Fearless. She's only 13. The youngsters take a shorter course than the adults, but the terrain is no less gruelling. We're at the finish line with the nervous mums. Sam, how are you feeling about your kids being out there?
They should be fine. It's just seeing who comes across the line first. There'll be a few arguments later on. Good girl!
Yay! Come on, Kian!
Ian, look at you, mud splattered. How did you get on?
I did all right.
You did all right. You exhausted?
Yeah, very.
Bethan, you look fresh as a daisy. How do you feel?
Tired.
You think you beat your sister?
Maybe.
Do you know whether you beat Keelan?
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Let's check the times. And let's hear it for Bethan. She just pipped her brother to the post. That's Husky Girl power. So Huskies, you thought, intelligent, strong, but why race them? Why not just walk them?
Basically, they need a lot of exercise. You're talking 3-4 miles a day.
And you do that every day?
Yeah, and it's just easier to put them on something and for them to pull you. They absolutely love it. They just go loopy tunes and they want to go.
So they love running. They are the doggy Forrest Gump.
They are, yes. It's good exercise for the dogs, it's fun for the dogs, and it's dangerous for me.
At first, Tony James gave me the impression of being a Husky racing veteran, but appearances can be deceptive.
Completely wrong. I haven't got a clue. It's my first time.
It's your first time?
Yes.
Are you nervous?
Very. I don't want to look a complete fool in front of everybody, and it's my first time.
If I were you, I'd just be happy to get out alive. Break a leg.
Thank you very much.
Shouldn't say that, should I? Just 10 seconds to go now before Tony's first race. The tension is rising, and so's the noise level.
Tony has 3 dogs pulling him, safer for a rookie musher. The more experienced you get, the more dogs you have and the faster you go. Mushing Masters runs 6 dogs and can reach speeds of around 20 miles an hour. It's probably more like 5 miles an hour for Tony, though.
2 days, 20 minutes later. Come on, Tony. What time's it now?
Roughly 13 minutes.
13 minutes. So how's he doing in terms of world record?
No.
I hope he gets round.
I know, I'm like that. Keep looking.
But a few minutes later, Tony came into view.
Come on, Lily.
With some final encouragement, he made it! Only later to be disqualified for going off course.
You good to go?
Oh, it's all very well to scoff, until I was told that later on, I'd be having a go.
That's how I'm feeling right now. I'm going to be doing this later. And that's how I'm feeling.
Yes, later on, I get carried away. And let me tell you, these Huskies don't understand the word stop. 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 Stop! But now I'm heading to Withybush General Hospital in Haverfordwest to meet a volunteer army which have been helping us all for 75 years. Formed in 1938, the Women's Voluntary Service helped those on the home front survive the dark years of the Blitz in World War II, supplying food and comfort to those who suffered as a result of the bombing.
Good hot chocolate to steady jangled nerves.
Over the past 7 decades, they've supported and cared for us through difficult situations, working with elderly people.
Morning, Mrs. Garb. I've got your dinner for you.
And running many hospital shops and cafes across Wales.
Whether you're visiting someone in hospital or whether you're in for an appointment yourself, there's nothing like a cup of tea to raise those spirits. But most of the time, we don't even notice who it is that's serving us. Well, it's down to a small army of volunteers, most of whom are members of the WRVS. And just round this corner, there's a troop of ladies who've had that kettle on since 8:30 a.m. Woo! Coffee, anyone? Right. Hello, ladies. Morning. Hey. Oh, and a gentleman. Wasn't expecting that with the WRVS.
Would you like to hang your coat up and wash your hands?
Right. Oh, straight in the deep end.
I'm rolling my sleeves up, donning my apron and joining the services for a day.
Put me in the right direction.
What would you like? Do the teas?
Oh, I'd love a cup of tea. Oh, I've got to do the teas.
Yeah, well, yes.
Do you want to go on the till?
Coffee.
Hot drinks.
And 45.
1.45, please.
The WRVS Cafe at Withybush General Hospital and its 75 volunteers last year raised thousands and thousands of pounds for the hospital. That's gallons and gallons of tea. The average age of volunteers is 70, but the oldest woman on duty today, and she told me she didn't mind me telling you a lady's age, is Dot Summons, who is 83.
So how long have you worked here then?
Over 22 years now, coming up 23 years.
And what spurred you on to kind of work for the WRVS?
Well, my husband died about 27 years ago, and just after the blues I started, and I've loved it ever since.
Have you made many friends along the way?
Oh gosh, yes. Millions.
And why do you think that it's such an important service here at the hospital?
Well, you're helping people, aren't you? You're making use of your life. What's you sitting at home?
What can I get you?
2 of your scones.
2 scones. Fabulous. Thank you very much. I'll bring it out to you.
Thank you.
Is that £1? It's 80 pence for the coffee.
80 pence for tea. Tea, was it?
80 pence for tea. I've been overcharging people. It's 80 pence for tea, £1 for coffee.
Good thing the profits are gifted back to the hospital. Making refreshments is not all these ladies are good at. A listening ear and a friendly face is all part of the service.
Sweet enough.
We've done
Some of them comes in after their scans and things, and they want a bit of talking to, you know, so we go out and chat with them and things.
So really, you're a counsellor come coffee maker?
Oh yes. Well, we reassure them and everything else, you know, and give them a giggle and a laugh, and then they go away quite pleased.
I bet you do. I hear you tell jokes.
I do.
Do this one, go on.
Oh, no way. Not fit for camera.
Oh, after 9 o'clock. What does WRVS bring to the hospital, apart from tea and coffee?
Yeah, I think friendliness and warmth.
Oh, hello. How are you doing?
Yes. This is my sexy man.
I'll leave you alone in the back.
So you come in for the ladies then?
For the ladies on the coffee.
And WRVS still take tea and comfort out to emergency situations, like in December last year, when some of the volunteers went to help at the scene of a serious accident on a railway line near Carmarthen. The WRVS weren't going to let treacherous conditions stop them. Head of the charity in Wales, Sally Rivers, coordinated her team.
It was a very bad weather conditions. We called out volunteers, and again some staff responded there, and we went and we had to climb over fences to get some teas and coffees to the British Transport Police and also the railway workers that were there.
Well, it seems to me the community spirit you'd have during the war is still very much alive here.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Whatever the services we offer, volunteers come forward because they want to help the people within their community and the old people to live better lives, and that's what we're about at WRVS. We're trying to make Wales a better place to grow old, and that's really what we're trying to achieve with the help of our wonderful volunteers.
Does it keep you busy then?
Yes. I do the desk as well on every other Friday. Love every minute of it.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
Finally, time for me to get a cuppa. My work here may be done, but I'm off to see another important WRVS service.
Off shift.
Meals on Wheels was one of the WRVS's earliest services. Post-war, they would sometimes use old prams to deliver the food or felt hats to keep it warm. As time went by, the trademark Meals on Wheels van took over, taking the food to the elderly or infirm. But this is a service that is under threat. Local council cuts have forced some areas to cut back on their funding for Meals on Wheels, leaving many elderly people without. Pembrokeshire still backs the service. I'm here to see just how important it is, and with help from Michelle Owens, get the meals packed and out in time for a hot lunch for 40.
So this is the route I've got to follow. This is the route you follow, and everything you need to follow goes in route order.
And I just follow these addresses?
Yes, so that gives us a checklist to make sure we haven't missed anybody out.
So you've got it right. It's just down to the volunteers now.
To stop me eating the food before it gets to the clients, I'm working with veteran WRVS volunteers Margaret and Brian Boddy. But the cuts are even seen here. Brian and Margaret now have to use their own car to transport the meals.
So we've got an hour and a half to deliver 14 hot meals.
Yes.
And you must get to know these people.
Yes.
You learn to see through them. You don't just see the old person, you see them as they were when they were younger, and they can talk about their past life. All in the time that it takes to get the meal into them and to them, and then on to the next person.
An express chat and a smiley face.
That's it. And it's definitely worth it.
For many elderly people across Wales, the WRVS visit will be their only hot meal and sadly their only human contact of the day.
Quite a regular visit, this one.
Morning, Mr. Newman.
Hello.
What's your lunch?
Hello, Mr. Newman. Here's your Meals on Wheels.
Thank you very much.
I hear that you're in your 90s?
97, yeah.
97. I need to be eating what you're eating.
That's what I rely on now, as a good meal each day. It's very kind of, the volunteers come along in all weather, and it's always very nice to see them. In fact, there's enough over for the feral cat. He waits for it under the chair, and he's always ready for it, the same as I am at lunchtime.
Oh, lovely. Well, it's lovely to meet you and enjoy your meal. Bye. Margaret and Brian are a double act designed to get the job done quickly. Never mind hot meals, Brian's got hot wheels, and his engine never stops. Vroom, vroom.
Keep it running and turn around while Maggie's in doing the delivery.
Is it something you enjoy doing as a couple, then?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Very, very much. It's really good. We've got a lot of separate occupations or hobbies and things, but to do this together is really good.
I hope it's still warm.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, please hold. Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you. Thank you, Mrs. Cook. Bye.
Bye.
This is a service rooted in the past, but after my lunchtime delivery, I think it's an essential service for the future.
2 dinners and 2 puddings.
Hello. Hi. And later on, I'll be paying a house visit with a new WRVS service, which brought me to tears.
Bravo.
But before that, I'm taking a short break with an ice cream. Wales has a tasty tradition of ice cream manufacturers and is renowned for its exclusive scoops. I'm heading to Pembroke Dock to the ice cream laboratory that is taking it to a different stratosphere. So here I am, in the right place, an ice cream factory, to meet a West Walian Willy Wonka. Hello there, hi.
Hello, nice to meet you, Connie.
It's not Willy, is it?
It's not Willy, no, it's Charlie.
It's Charlie, even better, Charlie and the ice cream factory. And it is quite an ice cream factory.
It's all right, isn't it?
Charlie Francis grew up in an ice cream family in Pembrokeshire. He's taken the tradition a step further, and he's got a fetish for fantastical flavours like toast and marmalade, roast beef and horseradish, and dark port and Stilton. His trick is to use liquid nitrogen to freeze fresh ingredients in seconds.
I can use fresh ice cream mix and any number of ingredients, put it into the pot, and make ice cream fresh in about a minute.
Ice cream in a minute? For this, we need something you may not have in your kitchen at home. Safety glasses. Turn on the liquid nitrogen.
Basically, to make ice cream, you need 2 things. You need agitation, which is your mixing. And then the second thing we need is your cold. You need your freezing. So we're going to turn on the liquid nitrogen now.
All the way?
Yep, put them up all the way. And that's the liquid nitrogen coming out there.
I feel like I'm in a science lab. Back at school again.
Should I hold my breath or something?
No, it's fine. You should just...
What is liquid nitrogen, then?
Liquid nitrogen is basically... it's nitrogen, which makes up 80% of the air we breathe, so it's a common gas. It's been compressed. It turns into a liquid, right? And at that point, it's incredibly cold, so it's minus 193 degrees centigrade when it's coming out of there. And it's freezing the ice cream almost instantly. There you go, fresh ice cream.
Et voila.
Dive into that.
Man, that was so good.
It's all right, isn't it?
I made that. Well, you made it, but...
Look at you taking all the credit. You've turned on me.
Made in a minute, eaten in seconds. But Charlie said we can make ice cream from anything. So how'd you fancy lamb and mint sauce ice cream with a hint of rosemary? A good Welsh dish.
That's nice. Lamb and mint ice cream. Yeah, let's do it. All right. We chop that up like really nice and fine now, so we get almost like we want lamb shards. I think would be nice in this. And then we can add them as a ripple.
Okay.
Let's start with the ice cream. Right.
Okay.
So let's put about a loaded teaspoon of that delicious mint sauce in there as well. About number 2. Mix that round, and then your right hand
on the liquid nitrogen.
On the liquid nitrogen, not that one, the other one. That one. The world will end if you do that one. That's the takeoff. The whole thing starts to fly.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And let's just get lots of liquid nitrogen there, nice and getting all lovely and cold.
Chuck the lamb in now.
We'll chuck that in and we'll freeze it. And then I think that should be lamb and mint ice cream. So let's put a bit on there. With the rosemary as well.
That's amazing.
That cool. Let's have a go.
It's interesting. It's different.
And it hands down beats vanilla. The rosemary really works.
Oh, doesn't it?
Do you think you could put that on your menu?
Absolutely.
Yes!
Yeah, come on! Connie's lamb and mint.
Woo! Connie's lamb and mint.
Done.
I'm on a roll. Connie's exclusive Welsh scoops. Cowl and daffodil, leek and Caerphilly cheese, Barabrith and lava bread. Makes you proud to be Welsh. I'm spending the day with the WRVS in Pembrokeshire. I've been helping out with volunteers in the hospital cafe and on the Meals on Wheels run, essential support they've been supplying for decades. But my final visit is part of a relatively new and much needed initiative. More of us are living longer, and to help us socialise in our own homes, there's Befriending. I'm joining Margaret Webley on her regular visit as a befriender. It's a bit like a dating agency, but for friends. Margaret has been matched with 87-year-old Edwina Peters, who lives in Tenby. She's losing her sight and doesn't manage to get out very much.
Hello, Margaret.
Hello.
Oh, my God.
Hello, Mrs. Peters.
Pembrokeshire has led the way in this scheme, and other areas around Wales are following its example.
Well, have you mind? I've come to be your friend as well today, if that's okay.
Oh, lovely. I'm honoured.
I'm going to grab a seat.
Oh, lovely.
So what prompted you to get involved with the WRVS?
Well, but nobody was coming here much, and they were going to try and find me something, and I told her I like music and watching telly and backing horses on. So I thought somebody with similar interest and another sense of humour would be fine, see? So they found Margaret for me. You know, she's made herself quite happy here, and it's nice and pleasant to see her. She's always smiling. So they've done a good job there.
Well, you're lucky to have found friendship through a voluntary service.
Yes, it's lovely. Because I had written myself off. I got into a very low state, and I really would have glad if the doctor had given me an injection and put me to sleep, you know. That's how low I felt. Feel much better now.
So, Margaret, you must get as much from this
Absolutely.
as Mrs. Peters does.
It's a pleasure to come here, you know. So I say, you know, I've been here just a year and I didn't know anybody either. And, you know, I said we've sort of become quite good friends and, yeah.
This is the thing. I mean, a lot of people are alone, and it seems a shame that they needn't be alone.
It's a really simple thing, sitting down and having a chat with someone, but I can see how much both ladies get out of it. Mrs. Peters has such a sociable spirit, and despite her arthritis, still has a passion for the piano.
Serenade me, Mrs. Peters.
I fiddle around sometimes and make tunes, you know. It's only the one key I can do well in, but I only play for myself. I don't go out entertaining.
Well, Mrs. Peters, I think everyone should be your friend, just so they can come and hear you play, because that is unbelievable. Oh, I'm a little bit emotional.
Don't call me Mrs. Peters. I'm Eddie to my friend.
Eddie! Eddie, the piano legend.
And there's one final message I've taken away from my day with the amazing men and women of the WRVS. I've seen just how vital their work is, but I've also been told that the number of volunteers is declining. So, if you've got a few spare hours, why don't you sign up? Oh yes, and have a real laugh at the same time. Earlier in the programme, I watched the high-speed Husky racing in Pembrokeshire Country Park. It was a day of fierce competition, but now the dogs are going to be under my direction. Yes, it's my turn, and I'm in need of husky mushing advice from race organiser Mick Clark.
Have you got any tips for me?
Yes, hold on.
Top tip number one,
yes.
Hold on.
Hold on. You don't say mush.
Where does the mushing part come into it then?
After TV films. You're leading the dogs. until you get to corners, when you have to shout "haw" or "G," which is left or right.
Which means I have to know my left from my right.
You have to know your left from your right. If not, your dogs will carry straight on.
Into a tree.
They'll find a way through.
Okay. So here's the map for the race. It looks like I take a right, then a left, then a right, then a left, then a right, then a left, then a left, probably. I'm a bit curious about this. Slow down lots. How do you slow down with a group of dogs? Are there brakes on these things? I really hope so. And what's this big fish thing doing here? I'm a little bit worried. I hope I don't get lost in this region. That's all I'm saying.
Lucky for me and very lucky for the dogs, I won't be heading into the woods on my own. Mick has found me a co-pilot, Robbie, and a bicycle made for two.
This is the contraption I'll be steering, right?
Yes, it is. As you can see,
sit?
you sit there.
All right, okay.
In the front. Robbie will be standing on the back.
What about the steering? What's the best technique?
Steer when you see something going wrong, really.
If you see a tree, steer the other way.
Yep.
And we've both got brakes as well, so is it an efficient braking system?
Yep, that's the strongest one. Use that when you stop.
Stopping 4 dogs must be quite difficult.
Depends.
Oh,
Okay.
very relaxing. Lovely.
It will be until they go.
Oh. Hi, Con!
Go, Coco!
Heading off into the woods with 4 hyped-up Huskies and a 14-year-old boy racer makes me feel like Little Red Riding Hood gone rogue. It was all going so well. Robbie looking like Davy Crockett on a day trip, me looking like Hiawatha in a tumble dryer. But then it all went so wrong. These Huskies weren't being told where to go and needed direct intervention from Robbie to get them back on the straight and narrow. It's a dog's life. I was enjoying it, honest, but I was still glad to get back to the pits.
No hands! I'm alive! Thank the Husky heaven, I'm alive. They worked so hard, and it was really, really fun. But really scary. I don't think I'll be Husky mushing for much longer. I'm mushing out of here.
And with an elegant dismount, that's my end. Next week, I join an all-night ghost hunt in historic Monmouth.
If you'd like to maybe touch one of us.
No, don't say that. I go deep into the bowels of the earth on a rescue mission.
You're right.
And I'm on emergency duty with the medical volunteers on match day.
Offering a reward to catch Heather's killer, that's Shirley's next move on tonight's EastEnders, next here on BBC One Wales.